Okay, today's lesson is actually going to be pretty easy, and you're going to see here how maybe an algebra 1 concept is going to apply to tomorrow. You'll see to a trigonometry problem. So we're talking about solving proportions. We're going to talk about what a proportion is. This is also known as, again, they'll give it a fancier name, solving rational equations. Here's another fancier name that you might see, or if you're like looking for another video on YouTube or something, but they get really, again, the ones we're going to see here are kind of like at the easier level algebra 1. But you use this in algebra 2, you'll see it again, and I'm bringing it up because tomorrow you'll see how we're going to set up proportions to even solve trigonometry. All right, so here we go. Solve each proportion. Solve each, again, it could be a rational equation, or solve each proportion. In this case, it's a proportion. So here we go. Number 1, we're just going to jump into it. It's actually really easy. Here we go. A proportion is when you have a fraction equal to another fraction. So you'll have something like 6/3 equal to x over 4. This is what a proportion is. When you just have a fraction, nothing more adding to it or being added from it, just like one fraction equal to another fraction. When you have this scenario, and when we have denominators and stuff, that it's kind of tough for a lot of people. But this is what a proportion is. You have one part of a ratio, or like they say, a ratio or a rational equation. That's what a ratio is. It's just a fancy way of saying a fraction equal to another fraction. Okay, so how do you solve something like this? Really easy. Here we go. So what you do, and I'm not going to do this, I don't want to touch this original problem. I'm going to copy it over. And what you want to do is you want to cross multiply. And I'm not talking about a cross. A cross is like the top with the top and the bottom and the bottom. Cross, we're talking about like a cross, like this diagonally. Like that. And it doesn't matter which one you do first. That's really important too. But what I like to do, I like to always start with the one that has the variable. So it'd be this, and then this. So here I'm multiplying this times this. That would be 3 times x, and then put it equal to, right? Because there's an equal sign. That's this one's in the red, and then multiply these other two, right? 6 times 4. And then there, you solve it. Right, I multiplied diagonally. 3 times x, that'll be 3x equals. And then 6 times 4, I multiply that. 6 times 4 is 24. Now we're going to get a nice answer here. You don't always get perfect answers. Right, this will divide evenly. This will divide nicely. 3x equals 24. Divide by 3, divide by 3. Well, x is equal to... Well, 24 can be divided by 3. See, we'll get a nice even answer. You're not going to get perfect answers. Sometimes you'll get a fraction and you just leave it like that. Make sure it can't be reduced. That is the answer for x. Okay? So, that was an easy one. Let's look at another one. Number 2. That's how you do it. Number 2. Let's go with 8 over k. Again, it doesn't... They'll choose different letters or whatever, but That's not the problem. Here's another proportion. 8 over k is equal to 10 over 5. So what do we do with the proportion? This is a proportion. You got a fraction equal to another fraction. 8 over k is equal to, and again here, you know, over here the x was over here, or the variable was on top. It doesn't matter where it is. It just doesn't matter. Here I have it's over here and it's on the bottom. It's not going to matter. Okay, so what do? We cross multiply, and again I start with the diagonal parts that has the variable first, and then I'll do this one second. So that would be what? Right, cross multiply. That would be 10 times k is equal to 8 times 5. All right. So that would be 10k is equal to 40. 8 times 5 is 40, yep. And again, you're going to get a nice answer here, right? A nice even answer. 10k is equal to 40, divide by 10, divide by 10. 40 divided by 10, k is equal to 4. Okay. All right. We're going to do another one that's not going to come out like a perfect answer. Number 3. Again, easy, right? Here goes. 4 over 3 is equal to a over 7. Okay, so 4 over 3 is equal to a over 7. I'm going to multiply 3 times a, that's 3a, is equal to 4 times 7, so that's 3a equals what? 28, right? 4 times 7 is 28. And see here, it's not gonna, right? I divide by 3, I divide by 3. I'm going to get a is equal to 28 over 3. 28 does not divide by 3 evenly. How do you know? Well, you'll get some decimals, right? 28 divided by 3. See, we don't want all these decimals and like a bunch of stuff like this. So just make sure when you get a fraction, check if you can reduce it. I can't reduce it. Well, then that's the answer. All right, you're going to be seeing a little bit something more like this. Check this out. It's not going to look like a proportion, but it is. What if I have x over 9 is equal to 2? X over 9 is equal to 2. That does not look like a proportion, right? You need a fraction equal to another fraction, right? This is like a fraction equal to a whole number. But that's okay. We can write this as a fraction, right? Any whole number you can write as a fraction. So that'll be x over 9 is equal to what? 2 is 2 over 1, right? Any whole number, we just put a 1 under it, and we're working with a fraction now, right? A fraction equal to a fraction is a proportion. Here's my proportion. Now I can solve it using that technique, right? Here's my proportion. Now what's the technique? To cross multiply. Well, this time I start this way first, right? Cross multiply. And I'm going to go this way. We say it's cross multiply. Easy stuff. So coming over here, starting with where the variable is, we got 1 times x equal to what? The red one here, that's 9 times 2. Well, 1 times x is just x. X is equal to 9 times 2 is equal to 18. And actually we're done here, right? It's already solved for x. I don't have to divide by 1. That's it. The answer is 18. Another one like that, number 5. right? How about if I have, let's go with 18 over x is equal to, no, sorry, that's not right. Let's go with, what do I want to go with? 6 is equal to 48 over x. I mean, it's gonna look like it's weird, right? It's gonna look like it's a different problem or a different type of problem. Again, we are looking for a fraction or a ratio equal to another fraction or a ratio, right? That's another way to say a fraction is another way to look at a ratio. Again, we can write this as what? 6 over 1. We want a fraction equal to what? Another fraction. That's what we want. That's how we want to see this. Put the 1 under there so you can see it. We cross multiply. And I start with this one because it has the x, the variable, wherever it is. That's going to be 6x equals, what's this going to be? 48 times 1. Oh, that's easy. 6x is equal to 48 times 1 is just 48. Oh, divide by 6, divide by 6. All right, now they're going to get a little bit more challenging, huh? Don't go away. Don't think that's it. X is equal to 48 divided by 6. Oh, we get a nice answer. We get x equals 8. You're not always going to get these nice whole numbered answers. If you get a fraction, that's fine. Okay, here's the ones that are going to be a little bit more challenging. They're going to look like they're more difficult, but it's the same deal. How about this? How about x minus 9 over x is equal to 4 over 10? What about something like this? Well, that's a proportion also. Got something like this, a fraction or a rational expression equal to another rational expression or a fraction, right? As soon as you have something in the numerator and the denominator, that's like a fraction, or the fancy term is a rational expression, is equal to, then I got there a fraction, right? I still got a fraction equal to a fraction. So what do? Now I got 2x's. See, that looks like it's different. Don't panic. Just, well, in this case, since there's an x here and there's an x here, it doesn't matter which one you start with. So I'll start with this one. That'll be 10 times x minus 9. See, I got to put the parentheses. It's this times both of these equal to what? And now, well, that's just going to be 4 times x. That's 4x, right? And then this is going to be what? How do I continue here? That'll be, I'll have to distribute. 10 times x minus 10 times 9 is equal to 4x. That's going to be 10x minus 90 is equal to 4x, right? And this is an algebra 1 equation, right? We have an algebra 1 equation. I want the variables on the same side, and I want the number on an opposite side. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to move this negative 90 and move it that way. That'll be 10x is equal to 4x plus 90, right? Because whenever you move a number or a variable from one side to the other side, it changes sign. Some of you do this. You'll do plus 90 and then you'll do plus 90, but see, it'll be plus 90 over here. All right, so I move that over there. Now I want to move this over here. So you can do that minus 4x, and you could do that minus 4x. There's a couple of ways to solve it. I happen to just start with this. So that's going to be 10 take away 4. That's 6x equals 90. 6x equals 90. That's going to be 6x equals 90 divided by 6 divided by 6. That's going to be x is equal to whatever 90 divided by 6 is. Can 90 be divided by 6? I don't know. Let's see. 90 divided by 6. Oh, gives us a nice answer there. X equals 15. Okay, one last one. This is going to be a little bit more complicated, but it's the same concept, the same approach. It's a proportion. You cross multiply. Okay, number 7, last one. How about something like, this is number 7, x minus 9 over 2x plus 3 equals 10 over 5. This is a proportion. I got a fraction equal to another fraction, or like they say, a rational expression equal to a rational expression. Same thing. When I have this, how do I solve this? I cross multiply. So last time I didn't copy it. Let me copy it again this time. Let's start this way. We'll start this way first. Again, it's not going to matter. And then I'll go this way. That's going to be, oh, I'll put the 10 first. Yeah, put the 10 first. 10 multiplies to 2x plus 3. 10 these multiply, right? So put this one first, and then this one in parentheses equals, and then put this one first, and this one in parentheses equal to 5 times x minus 9. Yeah, that's good. That's good. We're doing this one, huh? Yeah, or else if you kind of write it the other way, it'll look weird. Here I have to distribute, and here I also have to distribute. So that's going to be 10 times a 2x plus 10 times a 3. I know some of you can skip this step. You can probably see this in your head, but I'm showing all the work. That's going to be 5 times the first one, take away, and then 5 times the second one. Okay, this way I'm not going to make mistakes. All right, so this is going to be 20x plus 30 equals 5x minus 45. And again, we're left with an Algebra 1 problem. I want to move all the variables to one side and all the numbers to the other side. So I'm going to do this. 20x plus 30 equals 5x minus 45. I'm copying it over. When I move this positive 30 to that side, it's not going to be here anymore. If it's positive 30 there and it jumps to the other side, it's going to be negative 30. And if I take this positive x, right, because I'm moving all the numbers this way, that means I want all the variables this way. This variable, I want it over here. And if this is a positive 5x and I move it to that side, or some of you will do minus 5x. If it's positive here and you move it over to this other side, it's going to be negative 5x. Okay, but you solve it however you want. There's a couple of different ways to do it. I'm going to be left with this. All right, so this one went that way, it's not here. This one went this way, it's not there. So I'm left with, on this side, 20x take away 5x, that's 15x. And now that I add those, it's going to be a negative 75. I added this, I got 15x. I added this, I got C. All right, x is equal, right, divided by 15, divided by 15, divided by 15, divided by 15. I get x equals this, negative 75 divided by 15. Your answer is going to be, oh, it's going to come out to a nice answer again. Negative 5. Okay, there it is, proportions. All right, working on that. And tomorrow we're going to use this, and we're actually going to do proportions, but solving trigonometry problems. All right, good luck with the assignment.